I think we have like course and a very high tempo hero when you play it well. There might be a good windows to run them over, so we'll see if we make use of them, and if we do, it could be quick. If not, it could be a long game, so we'll just see how it goes.
Fair enough. We've seen a few sort of upsets already at the tournament. Obviously, Gaimin, one of the stronger teams, perhaps Nouns less fancied. Is that something you guys have talked about? Like, guys, we got to avoid an upset here, and how do you sort of mentally cope with that?
Don't really think too much about it. Like, we watch the games, like, obviously it's always like kind of funny, like myself when like upsets and stuff. Like, we know Nouns as a team. I don't think they changed much as a team, like the whole dynamic and stuff. Like, we know what they like, and they still kind of do. I think it's good for them that they went away from the Tusk offlane and why the things are.
So, how confident are you in the draft? Are you happy you got everything you wanted?
I'm very confident. I'm very happy with that.
Okay, cool. Well, let's see how it plays out as we go into game number 1 of this series. And I actually did a little bit of research. I came up with the names of some famous clowns. We've got Bozo, Krusty, Pennywise, and Suns fan and Cinderin. Lads, over to you.
Good one, Pyrian. Suns fan here with Cinderman. I mean, we are clowns, so I take that as a compliment. Krusty is a very historic clown as well, so just being in that same company, nothing but compliments here. But enough about us, of course. Nouns versus Gaimin Gladiators. NA versus NA, because Quinn is on Gaimin Gladiators. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, that's good news. The NA fans will have a winner in this series no matter what happens. Yeah. Well, my thought about this series, I mean, this was a series I was very interested to see the draft for, because we saw Nouns against Spirit effectively winning with more or less the same strategy 2 games in a row, and Spirit failed to counter it in the second game and make adjustments. And I said going into this one, I feel like Gaimin have watched that. They know what they're up against, and they're not going to let the same thing happen. Already here in game number 1, this is a totally different Noun strategy than what we saw them run against Spirit.
Yep.
So we'll see if they can still put up a similar performance. However, for Gaimin, this is their bread and butter. They got Brood, they got IO, and they also got Duracho on a very fast carry playing with that IO. So it's very standard for them. If you want to single out one hero that maybe is their least played in this, it might be the Quinn Invoker, which he's still very comfortable on, but he just has, you know, another set of heroes that he's more famous for.
Yep. I mean, when you win that many tournaments, you just got to add more heroes to your pool, and Quinn certainly does not have a puddle. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and this hero was also, matter of fact, first picked in the last series, right? So it's definitely, it seems to be a patch where Invoker might just be really good. We saw Thompson playing it with great success just now against Falcons, and if you get it this late in the draft, maybe it'll be even better. The hero to watch, though, as much as we love talking about Invoker, will of course be Broodmother. This hero, it's a really special, it's like an X factor if you're a team that has more or less 2 bans that other teams ban against you and you only, right? Gaimin Gladiators is the only team that other teams are first phase banning Lone Druid and Broodmother against. And this time Nouns are like, enough. We can't ban both of these heroes just like all the other teams. We have to face one of them. And Gaimin Gladiators will just grab that Brood first pick. And now the question is, since this hero is so special in the way it influences the game and the flow of the map, are Nouns prepared for what's coming their way in 10 minutes?
I would hope so, if they let it go through the first round. But I agree. I mean, at a certain point, you do have to stand your ground. We've seen it so many times throughout TI where these teams have specialty picks. I mean, first one that comes to mind is the old EG, TI5, Techies, and Naga. The AUI special. The fact that you had to ban those heroes that nobody else was playing, especially Techies. Feels like it's a recipe for success, but we'll see here how deep that pool does go.
Yeah, and the thing that's a little bit surprising is that there are plenty of players in this tournament that are good at Brood. They're just not playing it.
Yeah.
So is this just because Gaimin Gladiators are exceptional with it and have a specific strategy that other teams can't replicate, or are they perhaps slightly overrating it? They have won a game with it, but you know, we'll see if it's justifiable to take it absolutely first. In my mind, Ace is the single best offlane Broodmother player in the world, if you had to name one. So that's a good start. But this hero also saw some play in the carry role, but I guess the change to the Bloodthorn for Brood in particular really nerfed that build hard. And maybe the Auras is just the, at a pro level, more or less only way to play it right now.
To be fair, that build was very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it was just flat out stupid.
If Broodmother can insta-gib somebody, yeah, too powerful, I think. Good changes overall is Gunner. Gonna get static linked here by Dyrachyo, but we'll be safe. But this is the power of Razor against any melee hero in lane. Any static link will just be a bunch of free last hits and denies. Meanwhile, mid lane, talked about the Invoker versus Storm Spirit matchup.
Poppy's doing great so far.
Yeah, against the 10 and 5 on Quinn. He's going to get a couple more onto the tower, though.
I guess in nature, this matchup has changed quite a bit since Static Slide has become a thing, because in the past, whenever Storm wanted to go in and remnant the wave, he would always get Tornado EMP'd. And now maybe you have some situations where you can perhaps dodge it and still get the last hits with the remnant. So that's potentially quite a big change for this matchup. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. How much Quas Wex has been, how much has that been prioritized over Quas Exort? Because I feel like we've seen a good chunk of people playing, I mean, they all play Elitist, right? But it has been a little bit more in the Exort direction most of the games, I want to say. Obviously, the carry Invokers have been a no-brainer, but which I think was actually... But yeah, curious to see how Quinn goes about this. Does he go full on Quas Wex?
Gonna get arrowed and taken out. Yuma with the first blood. That is, I mean, we've been talking to death how important this Brood hero is to the Gaimin Gladiators lineup. Nouns shutting it down early. Very good kill. I mean, his CS is really good on Ace to start things up. We'll see how much of an impact that has going forward.
Yep. This is, okay, maybe calling it the dream start is a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think killing Brood is one of the best things that could have happened to them this early on.
Another arrow. Fly gonna stand his ground with that Leech Seed. Yep. Doesn't need trees to plant that with that facet.
Of course, Broodmother, who used to have quite the weakness in the first few levels. You can overcome that by purchasing Bracer. Great item. So he will get a couple of those. Yeah, so to just elaborate on the Quinn thing, obviously in the past when you played Quas Wex Invoker mid, a lot of the time you would see Invokers go 4 Quas and then max Wex and maybe get 1 value point in Exort. I'm curious to see here if that is his approach as well, or if he will go something like the hybrid 4-4-4 build, so you start dealing some more damage and giving the Sunstrike potential. Not the best combinations, I suppose, for it. But I wonder if it's just a valid concern that you fall a little bit short in the damage department if you go full-on Wex. With the heroes you're up against, can you actually get through that Doom? Can you get through the Storm before he zips away?
Right.
Naturally, relatively elusive lineup on the Radiant side.
I mean, this kind of segues into the next conversation. How fast are Gaimin going to be looking to play? Because we talk time and time again how fast they play in general, but with this specific lineup, as you're going to hold your horses here, Cinderin, Fly comes in
nice rotation
from the gate. Gets off a Leech Seed on Dyrachyo, but nothing else will connect here, so...
Okay, maybe not so nice rotation, but it was a rotation. Now he's going to run into them.
Okay.
And TP. Yep. Nice TP. Rotation.
To go through the gate as well, so now that's going to be orchestrated. They will be communicating.
This is
the bottom lane.
This is not an obvious play that they double gate minute 6. There's the waves are clashing top, so they're sacrificing experience. This kill better work out for them.
He only has another leap's coming up.
He could just TP, right? They don't have anything to stop him.
Yeah, he could.
But they're not even going to do... Okay, this was a very weird rotation, honestly.
Especially since they were spotted.
Yeah,
and they might just abort that.
I think if you're Nouns, you're very happy with that. They just lost a full wave top. Gunner is free farming on his Doom. That was not successful. That cost them... Was that 40 seconds of nothing?
Copy's not level 6 yet. Gonna get ganked here a bit as Scatterblast does connect, but they're not gonna go any further. Fly putting this to a stop. Tofu has to cookie to the low ground. Yeah, but Yuma, level disadvantage right now in that bot lane, despite getting that first blood.
That is true. That is a valid concern here. What are you going to do when Brood hits 6? That's always what it's about. How do you solve the Spiderlings? Treant is pretty damn bad at it. I think Mirana... I want to see it, how well it does with the Starstorm, how well that solves the problem. Historically speaking, Mirana cannot handle Brood on her own. But, you know, things change in this game over time, and perhaps with the Arcane Boots build-up that we see now, you have enough mana to just effectively spam them every time you see them, and maybe that can cover it somewhat decently.
Should mention, I mean, I think most players have been taking this, but Ace's facet on the Brood, Necrotic Webs, is the negative health regen.
Yep.
So in the lane, as long as she's in the lane connected to the spider webs, you will get that applied to the enemies. So a laning stage that's, I would assume, to be pretty powerful.
Yeah. Because it cuts down all region, right? So also healing gained from Leech Seed as well as Living Armor.
I was going to ask you that. It specifically says health regen, so I don't know. I feel like it would say health reduction. I was gonna gank here.
It might just only be... So I would assume it reduces Living Armor.
Yuma, a leap to the other side. Tofu is going to be in the vicinity. Catches Fly out. It's the Leech Seed. We really talk about the Leech Seed can be used to block, actually. That's
yeah.
cool.
But it is...
Another
classic.
attempted gank, though, is completely shut down.
They shut down the gank, but the pressure is on, right? The Gaimin Gladiators lanes are going very well right now. They're up 1,000 gold without having a kill, so this is just raw lane advantage, and Ace is starting to build a house. So they kind of need to try to... I want to say, to put it simply, there's two solutions to Brood. One is that you fight Brood head-on in the lane and prevent her from taking over the area. The other one is, all right, we don't have the solutions, kill the rest of the map and just accept defeat in that one lane. The worst thing that can happen is that you keep sending resources and fail, because then you lose on economy. So the moves need to be, efficient. Whether they succeed or not, it needs to be quick so that you can move on and do something else. And it seems right now the mindset of Nouns is we're just abandoning the lane. Like you can see both Mirana and Treant are off to something else. Unfortunately, Fly will find a very painful death.
Yep.
Quick one, though.
Cold Snap with all these little spiders surrounding him. Easy kill
He almost
for
got a spell
Gaimin.
off. Almost.
In fact, Gaimin's first kill of the game.
Yep.
Despite having a 2K lead, you can just tell they're just getting more out of the map right now in the early stage.
And you asked me about the timing of the Gaimin lineup.
Yep.
It's starting now. It's that fast. That's Brood is having a good game. Invoker is free to roam as Quaswex. The map can fall apart within the next 5 minutes. So honestly, if Nouns want to have a hope of making this a competitive game, they have to, now that they've lost their mid tower as well. Yeah. 2 towers down minute 10 against Brood Invoker, they have to find successful moves. If they sit back and try to wait it out and farm, I think they're just going to get crushed.
Yeah,
like really run over.
Gunner is smoked, wants to use this first Doom of the game. We should mention this hero has a horrific win rate right now. They can break the curse. Yeah. Ace going to be spotted. Copy gets a very long range electric vortex arrow. Not going to hit for Yuma, so Ace likely would just be able to run away. But there's the first Doom. Quinn actually just runs into them. But now the link up by Stellar going to get some health regen. Oh, it doesn't regen at all because of Doom, in fact. And that'll lead to his eventual death, and Stellar will be able to get out just in time with the relocate.
It's one kill, but it's important. It's just, you know, stem the bleeding is the motto right now for the side of Nouns, and it will be for a while. So while that might not have been the greatest with the arrow failing on the Brood connection, at the very least they bring numbers, they get a core kill, and they slow things down a little bit. Yeah. And yeah, the way to slow things down is, ironically, by playing fast. Farming and trying to push out waves, I do not think is the recommended approach. So that was good. And the good news for Nouns is their supports are approaching level 6. So currently they are a little bit out-leveled. Celery's 6.5, Tofu is 5.5. But once the Hoodwink and Treant get 6, something could happen. Celery, though.
Celery, yeah, he was already low to begin with. That's going to be an easy cleanup. Darachu left to his own devices as Yuma comes in from the north. Great coordination from Nouns, collapsing from every direction. They get 2 kills. Push a little bit here as well. I wanted to discuss the Doom a little bit. We talked about this off camera, but feels like nobody can win with this hero unless it's against China.
Only Liquid.
Yeah, and what's up with this hero? Because even that last series, Amar played unbelievable.
Yeah,
Doom. It just is never enough, it seems.
I mean, we were talking about how if it was the old Doom, they would have won that series.
Old Doom meaning
the one where you can't use items when you're doomed. I feel like they would have just absolutely crushed some of the fights. But that's the thing. If people know how to play against Doom and itemize correctly, a lot of the time you can kind of create distance when you get Doom, and it's about, you know, against this hero, it's about surviving Doom. After that, the hero honestly kind of sucks in late game. Even if you itemize and you get very rich, Doom is still the brunt of the hero. So as players have got better at itemization and have more options of kiting as well on the doomed hero, they're just doing a better job at dealing with that. And on top of that, some of Doom's losses, we're talking about the late game perspective, some of Doom's losses, his early game just hasn't gone particularly well either. And this hero does not play well from behind. So there's like multiple boxes that need to be ticked. And if all of those are ticked, you're not even in a guaranteed strong position. So I don't know. It feels to me like the hero might just be slightly overrated based on win rate.
I mean, at what point do the players look at the win rate and say, okay, surely this just isn't a pick anymore? I mean, I don't have the stats offhand right here, but I think it's like 1 in 9 or something during this stage.
Sounds
right?
about right. Yeah, probably 10%.
It's real bad. How much of a sample size do you need? Is Quinn going to be caught? Okay, Tornado. Safe.
I think the thing to think about is not only the win rate, but it's also when you watch Doom's games, how does it lose?
Is it
right?
his fault?
It's like, how does the hero lose? Because it's one thing to have a bad win rate, but, you know, if you're, how to say, if the lineup is built around him in an incorrect fashion, or you're making the wrong idea of how to utilize the hero, it might, I mean, the hero is not a 10% hero, okay? There's no hero that's that bad. So, I personally think a big part of his issues is that he gets first picked. I think this hero would do so much better as a second phase choice when you have a little bit more information and maybe you get to ban out specific counters, or you get a little bit more of a read of the flow of the game. I don't know, that's just my 2 cents, but we'll see. It's sometimes heroes that don't do too well in the beginning ultimately get really, really good later on when people make, you know, slight adjustments to item builds or timings or movements where you really enable the hero better.
Or facet choices, potentially now.
Yeah.
Cool mechanic added to the game that just adds extra depth to these types of tournaments the longer it goes. I mean, I'm not sure they're evolved enough to get to this yet, since relatively... Just adds another cool layer, I think, to Dota. Quinn. Bot lane looking for an opening. You said that they were going to be ramping this up, but it's actually slowed down a bit.
Those couple of ganks that Nouns got through, I can't stress enough how important they were. Because if you don't get these couple of successful moves just to buy yourselves a little bit of breathing room, it would have been Gaimin making those moves, and we would be looking at a 5 to 6k gold lead and another dead tower. So it might not seem like that much to have a successful gank hero there, but in games against tempo, getting these kills is worth twice as much as in others. But we'll see. Gaimin, it's their time to try to shine here. Orchid on Ace, and Quinn will scout out Yuma, so any connection here should be an easy kill, and he's dead.
Yep. And Yuma takes a tumble. That's a huge kill. Meanwhile, Fly gets off the overgrowth.
Should live, I think.
Zip coming in from the north from Copy, and there is the Doom from Gunner. Down goes Doraccio. So position ones on both sides end up getting taken out.
Good response.
Support action as well.
And you can tell, so pay attention to how Nouns are spreading their resources on the map and the drawing that they also just made there with Yuma, right? They are just not playing Brood's game. Yuma was alone farming down there, and I think his logic was, I can farm here because I can avoid Brood and live. Now that he knows he has Orchid, he's not going down there alone again. So, curious to see how they adjust now, as Gunner will be jumped. Oh, that's the Orchid on the Storm!
Storm's in a lot of trouble, but no. Able to zip away just in time. Gunner trying to focus down the Snapfire now as Quinn come to getting turned around on. Gunner going to be helped out by Yuma now. Quinn is dead. Celery slowed to a crawl with that purge from Gunner.
Clutch.
Double kill for Yuma.
I was like, how is that Orchid on Copy so short? Gunner dispelled it with Purge. So, having this creep in this exact moment to counterplay that move from the Brood, beautiful. Super, super important. If he doesn't Purge Storm there, Storm dies and they lose this fight. Instead, they take 3 kills. You know, Doom is insane. What a great hero.
3 second.
You just gotta have the right. You just gotta have the right creep in the right moment. You know, that's Oh,
yeah, that was actually perfect timing too. Oh man.
And I wonder if this Purge creep, if that was specifically chosen by Gunner in foresight against Orchid, because if that was the rationale there, that is just awesome.
I mean,
what a great choice.
He's been having an amazing tournament so far, especially in this upper bracket.
And now I don't think he's changing this creep for a while now. I think he just walked past the Centaur. I know he doesn't have Devour, but I don't think he would have eaten it anyway. I feel like now having this Dispel in this phase of the game is enormous for them. And you also saw, you can obviously use it for chasing when you're ahead in the fight too. It's not only defensive ability.
Yep.
So, yeah, really, really nice.
So what do you think about I mean, correct me if I'm wrong with the order here, but Io was chosen after the Doom, right? So not really respecting
Yes.
the anti-heal aspect of this hero.
It's a double-edged matchup because you can also relocate people out, which
Yeah.
is very useful against Doom.
Relocate to Fountain where they can die, technically.
I mean, as we've seen in plenty of series this tournament,
Yeah,
playing against Doom is about kiting the Doom.
Right.
You need to survive the Doom, and then you can turn the fight around. And historically speaking, Io was an insane hero against Doom because you used to be able to heal as well during Doom. So then it was like one of the picks against it. But you're right. There is definitely that downside that they can't reliably trust Celery to keep them alive as they are doomed. But I still don't mind the matchup from Io's perspective. I still think it's reasonable. And you weren't picking Io particularly against Doom. You're picking it with your lineup's goal, like your vision of the pace, right?
Right. I mean, the move speed always super helpful anyway, especially with the Razor.
Yeah.
Lane's going to be pressured a bit as Gunner looking for an opening with that Blink Dagger and Doom available. Heading towards the north, Ace. Very difficult kill.
Bottom tower is under attack.
But yeah, so far the Orchid on Ace has not, I mean, obviously it's good in general, but it's not led to a kill.
My biggest concern for Gaimin is not the Brood, it's Quinn. He is poor. He is 2,000 below the other cores, and he has a Mage Slayer. So he went for a fighting item. They're not winning fights, so he's not going to be farming that well. I mean, it's okay, you know, you get attack speed, etc., but it's not a Midas.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, a tempo item that he can solo kill heroes with. This is meant to be... It's very clear from their itemization and their mindset that this is when Gaimin want to get stuff done. And I honestly think they're a little bit stunned. Like, this was not the plan. So... it's time to dig deep and get that plan B rolling. We saw them, was it yesterday when they played? Or 2 days ago? And it was against G2IG. When the second game when they were playing their Chen Alk, and the pacing missed, they kind of lost their footing and never really recovered it.
Attempted kill onto Gunner here.
He is
Fly is
tanky.
in the area, though. Gets off the leech.
Good
The
glide mirror.
Rocket, though, coming with the IO. Mortimer's Kisses will eventually be enough. Quite a bit expended. But it is a kill on a very important hero for Nouns. Fly continuing to get chased under the cover of the tier 2. Doesn't seem to matter. Looks like he'll drop regardless.
All right, they get something going. That Gleipnir, great efficiency from Duracho, making that rotation, getting 2 kills, using it to good effect. And they will want to get more out of this. So trying for the tower with the pipe in hand for Ace as well. This is... they're definitely still in a solid position. It's just not, you know... it's not as good as I think Gaming had hoped, but 1 or 2 good moves and they can get back on track. Now, Copy will grab himself a BKB. Quite a good timing here for the Storm to really get something done. Comboing with Doom, these two can kill any hero on the map. We'll see if they fancy a smoke. They do indeed.
Lelis will be leading the way. Gunner with that Blink Dagger at his ready. Connect as well, it seems. Now they're slightly separating. See the path that they are on their way to will run into Tofu if they continue with that trajectory.
Yep.
Although Ace would be such a big kill.
Copy does have a dust if they break on Invoker.
Spiders are leading the way. This feels like something out of Harry Potter. But they'll go down the little path here.
Okay, they want to try to steal the wisdom, but they're too late. Oh, this is awkward. They have a ward. Maybe they just jump Celery?
Now there's a BKB.
Oh, they're going for the Torment. Oh my god, if they assassinate them here.
No way.
Oh no.
Zip on in. Do they have the damage to take out the Tormentors? The Doom applied as Duracho gets taken out. Lelis gets the shard. This could not have gone better for Nouns.
Oh my god, I didn't see they stole it too.
Lelis will TP out. Gunner on the exit. Ace trying to pursue a bit. Copy not too much mana to work with though. Will they be able to get this kill? He just TPs out and off the cold snap at the last moment. So Gaimin gets something going their way here, but overall, I mean, that's a huge steal.
That is still a major, major victory. Sure, you get Copy and a big kill now for Quinn, but you lost Duracho, you lost your snap, and you lose the Tormentor. And this is going to be 2 Tormentors for the Radiant, because there is no way Gaimin get over and invade this in time. I think they're just, you already saw them drawing the line to their own Tormentor there from Fly. It's just like, let's get our own as well.
Yeah, because he wants to. Oh wait, he already bought his shard. They have 3 already.
Wait, so who can get the next one?
So it's going to be
Storm
Gunner
or Doom.
Yeah, Gunner or Copy.
Oh, they really want the Storm one, I think.
Yeah,
Doom
Gunner's
one is
more survivability, I believe.
Yeah.
The Scorched Earth.
The storm one would be nice. Overload. Of course,
Copy
great.
is eventually taken out,
It's
but
a big kill. He had a 4-kill streak, so Quinn will get that, but still,
desperately needed for him. No
job well done. I mean, there's just been, honestly, if you want to summarize Nouns' game so far, it's just been timing, right? They've just had really, really good timing on their moves, on their map reads, and on this. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, it's good that they have the timing, because they don't have the spell casting,
Man,
apparently.
you really do curse everybody.
What? That wasn't a timing thing.
First it's China, now it's NA. What region is next, Cinderin? Have some mercy, for God's sake.
If I curse all of the regions, who wins TI?
The caster.
Did we win TI?
That's right.
All right, Europe's looking hot this tournament.
Well, Gunnar ended up getting the shard, so his Scorched Earth will heal himself. 60% of the damage done.
Just confirming the arrow can hit the Tormentor, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
It won't stun it, though.
Yeah. I just feel like I've seen more missed arrows on the Tormentor than I've seen hit ones. So as much as we're laughing at it, this is not my first time seeing that in the pro game. So
It's just the angle, you know, as during this downtime,
Yep.
Gaimin will be taking Roche.
Hey, well, who gets the Aegis? Is it Ace or is it Duracho?
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
It is indeed Quinn. There you go. You want another curse?
Is under
God, you're the best analyst, man. This is
God, I
amazing.
love it. I love setting myself up for failure. It's the best.
You could have just stopped at who gets the Aegis.
Yeah, but what's the fun in that?
Then you guess 2 out of the 3 cores, and you still get it wrong.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean, what's the fun in that?
it's
though?
impressive. It really is impressive.
Dude, you gotta go for a little bit of it. You gotta live a little, you know?
I agree.
It's like,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, you could also say nothing, then you're never wrong, but then there's no stakes.
Radiant are
And I
scanning.
love steak.
Yeah, you sure do. Medium rare, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
So Aegis on Quinn, as expected. And they're actually going to zip on him right away. See if they can burn this right off the bat. They're going to expend the Doom for it.
Good thing he had an
Relocate's
Aegis.
coming in, but he's definitely going to use life number 1. Question is, can Nouns get out? Gunnar is caught. Mortimer's Kiss is doing quite a bit of damage. Yuma coming in with a BKB.
Oh, big damage.
Focusing everything on the Brood Mother. Brood is dead just like that. And Gunnar somehow is still alive. How? Copy and company take out Tofu. Quinn looks like he's going to be able to walk away from this. Although now you have an idea that he is here. Gleipnir onto 3 heroes in the meantime from Duracho. Big zip from Copy trying to focus everything on the Razor now. That is going to be enough damage to take him out. And Quinn. This is going to be a full team wipe for Nouns. How?
My goodness. This Doom is so tanky with the
Dire's
Shiva.
middle tower
The
is under
shard actually saved him.
Actually true.
It actually did.
He's survived because of the shard, and you know, Dota is a game of feel, so Gaimin might have felt like they had that kill and just underestimating how much he was able to sustain in that
Who
situation.
gets shard on Doom at 24 minutes?
Yeah. He has that, he has Shiva, they put the Pavis on him. I think they put living armor on him, which also, you know, all of these things really add up.
Maybe this is the secret to winning on Doom. Get the shard early.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah.
That is insane. So this was a nice little burn of the Aegis here from now. I thought for sure he was dead here.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, they killed, that was a 6 for 0 fight,
Yeah.
right?
Yuma comes in and just freely right clicks from the high ground with
Mira-
his ult activated.
Mirana with max solar flare running, just getting in and getting to deliver for like 10 seconds straight.
And this, the
She's gonna kill
re-engage, 3 versus 5.
That Pavis,
That was questionable.
yeah.
Obviously, it
I can
gets shut
understand
down.
why they felt tempted, right? They get a 4-man Gleipnir, they can see Gunnar is low. If they get that kill, perhaps they can snowball the fight into some extra, but they end up just bleeding away. Danish keyboard says Gunnar, which is a very good excuse for a pause. Of course, he's just marveling in the brilliance.
Do you guys have weird keys over here?
Our keyboards have a slightly different layout because we have extra vowels, and we have extra vowels because our language is so beautiful that we
Yeah.
need more letters.
I see. Yeah.
There you go. Pausing again, he just can't get over it.
So what?
Another keyboard.
It's going to be okay.
Yuma's like, can I have your Danish keyboard? That sounds amazing. So he's pausing. He's asking the admins for a replacement keyboard with A, U, and O on it. Yeah, those are 3 extra vowels.
Okay.
Never heard of those?
That sounds like A, E, and O.
Yeah, well, we also have those.
So you have alt-cast versions of A, E, O.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Dota players should be more familiar with that then.
Our old MacDonald had a farm. You should hear that one. It's insane, the Danish one.
Can you sing it, please?
E-I-E-I-A-O. No? Oh, that's not how
God,
it
that
is.
sounds
I wish,
like
though.
word vomit right there.
Yeah, that's Danish.
Good stuff. Great country you got here, Cinder.
Yeah.
Really loving it so far. Really loving this pause that has been caused by the Danish people, apparently.
Well,
Of course, we don't know what they mean by keyboard issues.
yep, don't know either.
So game state right now, nouns with a 9K lead. We've been talking about this quite a bit. Feels like even when a team has it feels like a sizable lead at like this stage of the game, for example, we look at the net worth, it's like 3 or 4K, which is not gigantic. This one,
I mean, this
feels very gigantic.
This is monumental because of the way Gaimin's lineup functions. I feel like their timing has been missed now, and in order to come back from this, you need to be really clever, effectively. You can't just play on, how to say, autopilot with so many of Gaimin's games with this type of lineup. They're winning now. Like, this is when they get their second lane of barracks. They haven't taken a tier 2.
That is true.
It
feels later than it really is.
It's very unusual for them to be put in this position, which is, you know, see what I was saying in the interview pre-game. We're happy with the heroes we've got. We know if things get rolling, we're gonna run them over with our timing, and if it doesn't, we'll see how it goes. Kind of. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at the copium phase for the Dire strategy,
I see.
where you kind of, at this point, you're relying on significant outplay, because I think the timing that your lineup was meant to crush them failed, because Nouns played super well around the map. They are now fully online with a lineup that scales incredibly well on every hero, mind you. All the supports are monsters late game. Treant and Hoodwink are some of the best late game supports you can get. And you have an IO whose late game contribution primarily is keeping one hero alive, but that hero can get doomed. So it's kind of a catch-22 where, you know, your options don't sound that great right now.
Yeah, and from the Gaimin side, Invoker should be a very important hero on this line. He is just struggling big time.
He is so far
They
back.
put the Aegis on him so that he could survive.
Yeah.
Immediately burns it, and then dies in that big team fight that Nouns win. So it feels like Quinn is just very far behind right now. But, I mean, in terms of if they end up trying to go high ground against Gaimin, Invoker, historically speaking, is incredible at defense. How's their lineup overall?
Yeah, a big part of Invoker's defense, though, is also having many levels in Exort, because then you actually pose a serious threat of killing you with the combo. But Quinn's build currently is 4-7-2, so his spells don't deal a lot of damage. He can burn some mana. He can be annoying. I don't know if he should buy a shard, if that even helps at all here.
Gaimin have 0 shards versus the 4 on them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just tricky, right? This is what happens in games where you build a tempo lineup and you itemize for tempo and you miss the margin, right? Or miss the you miss the window, so to speak. So I don't know what I would recommend buying on Invoker in this spot. It looks like he's trying for a pike. And I guess with that, his plan is to transition into right click, because he's identifying that if we're going to win this game now, it's not 25 minutes anymore. Now we're looking at 50. So perhaps this item can help him bridge that gap.
Well, Yuma has finished his Gleipnir, as we're on pause now, in case you're wondering, for everybody that was alt-tabbed.
Yep.
This is not a highlight. This is live action.
Are scanning.
Enjoy.
So we had a...
It sounds like we have some in-game communication from Nouns that we get to listen to. Let's take...
Where's the party? Invisibility.
Haste!
Being a former pro player yourself, Cinder, what did you think of that conversation?
I love, you know, okay, so Fly, I think they were effectively suggesting let's buy Vlad's on Treant so our right clickers do a lot more damage, and Fly was like, I'm buying Blink, I'm not getting that shit.
He just shuts them down
Yeah.
immediately.
He has his own read on what he needs his hero to do, and damn, he's gonna do it. But then they were like, okay, but after the blink. And sometimes this is how communication does go down with item suggestions and feeling out the game. Ultimately, whoever is playing their own hero will have the final say in what they want to do. You can ping pong ideas when there's downtime, and this is how you level your mindset of where the game is headed, right? Because they might feel like, hey, if we buy Vlads, we can just run them over, and Fly just has a different idea of what he wants to
out
do.
the BKB from Dirachi. Look at the damage coming out from Yuma with his solar flare. Oh, right click is enough. Relocate too slow. Big kill for now as they force out the BKB and they get position 1 kill.
Dude, I've seen this hero for a week, and I still get surprised by Mirana's damage.
It is absurd.
So
nice
crazy.
Arrow
Nice
timing.
Yep.
Celery will die as well. It's getting worse and worse as Doom applied to the Invoker. He's actually just going to TP out, so we'll actually be fine.
Gunner Infernal bladed him there. A bit of a mistake, perhaps.
Yeah. Muscle memory.
Yeah.
Got to get that damage in.
Could have possibly. I mean, maybe he felt like he had to Infernal Blade to allow himself to cast the Doom. At this level, the players are very fast to react and get a counterplay in. But yeah, he needed that to stop the TP out. So he does get out.
Very slight mistake in what is pretty much a flawless game from now.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Dota for a year or two, Doom has changed. So now when you're doomed, you are no longer muted unless Doom takes that town at level 25. In return, though, heroes that are doomed cannot heal in any way.
And you cannot deny them anymore. What does it
You also can't deny them, yeah.
Gunner caught off with the tornado. Going to be surrounded by Dyrachio as well as Quinn.
Good overgrowth.
Fly and a huge zip in from Copy as Mortimer Skits is doing some damage. It looks like the Doom will finally go down, but Yuma again from the sidelines just ripping everybody a new one. Both Quinn and Dyrachio already dead. Ace connected by Celery. Copy's running out of mana, so it looks like the Brood will get away. Tofu, in the meanwhile, being hounded by Yuma. We'll be able to get to the low ground, but the zip from Copy, still no mana.
Not enough.
They'll have to be happy with the 2 kills, and of course, 2 core kills. Feels like they just need so much to kill Gunner, and then once they do, it's like, okay, what else do we have left?
What do you think Fly is telling his teammates now?
I buy Vlad's.
Oh, I thought he was saying, see guys, this is why I buy Dagger.
True.
That was if he had a Vlad's there, that's a dead Doom and nothing more happens. And this is not about he is right, his team is wrong kind of, but you have your own feel. That was a great moment to have Blink. Maybe the next fight would have been a great time to have Vlad's, but this is why itemization is so important. You need to visualize what's coming up. And that was a good Blink moment. All right. Nouns are not going to let this slip away at this point. They really want to keep control of the map, so they will be pushing out aggressively together in the top half. They're starting to cross the river a bit more than they have so far in this game on average, I would say. We'll see Ace mid, or you'll only see the spawn Spiderlings cast, so I can't really go for it.
A lot of spider kills there. Ace
now
does take the damage rune. Will it cost him, though? Copy. Zipping around, and yeah, it's just a free kill.
That did cost him.
Wow. Was it worth it? I don't think so.
I hope that was a rhetorical question.
I did answer it myself, so
I hope that wasn't a rhetorical answer.
Is that a thing, a rhetorical answer?
Stop asking more rhetorical questions.
Okay. Tier 2 is next for Nouns. Question is, when is Roche? So 30 seconds away from knowing when he will spawn.
Dire's middle tower.
Tier 2 tower taken out, so only 2 remain in this stage, both bottom and top.
All right, in your expert opinion as a pro Counter-Strike player, what do you think Gaimin Gladiators should do now?
I think, oh boy, I was gonna say contest Roche, but they do have some decent AoE. Yeah, I'd say contest.
So what you would have done was spin the wheel and kick a random teammate because it was their fault.
Oh, you're asking me what I would have done?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Goes without saying. And the fact that I mean, not that these heroes hate having Manta necessarily, but against a tree, you pretty much have to go Manta style.
Yeah, you're either relying on Manta or Satanic, right?
That's true. Satanic would work as well.
But Satanic doesn't feel that great against Doom, so it's really, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Either way, one way or the other, and I don't mind the Manta choice from Dyrachio. I mean, it's still a fine item regardless. Lilith will be pulled in, reload.
Seller is expecting an entire response here.
Yeah, I mean, now they're just in their heads, right? This was a solo hoodwink, and they're like, the whole gang is here.
Yeah, PTSD does that. I would know.
I mean, don't blame them, because Nouns have been playing pretty tight. I mean, most of their moves in this game have been with many heroes. Duracio has to be KB. Celery's toast.
Certainly does. Celery
Oh my
dead.
god, this damage.
Near into the arrow. Not quite connecting. Quinn gets out. But Copy wants to continue on, and Duracio, without the help of Io, just melts.
Honestly, it feels really nice for Storm to get Solar Flare.
That is, by the way, I don't want to harp on it. Duracio is 0-7. How often do you see that? That is rough from the Razor this game.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. It's 0-8 in a minute. Sorry for the ill omen. Maybe they can bring it up to a 1-7.
Stop being so negative, Cindy.
I am super positive for Nouns. They are playing an outstanding game. I have to say, they surprised against Spirit already.
We need to reiterate, they have been the underdogs 2 series in a row now, and they have looked amazing.
Yeah. I think you got to start putting some respect on their name based on these performances. It's not just that they're winning against a series against Spirit. You know, you could be like, yeah, they had a good series. Spirit let them have their heroes. They're bringing totally different heroes to this game. They're playing against a hero that everybody's been scared of giving Gaimin. They let them have it, and they're just rolling them. So, like, what's the ceiling? If you can, they've got to be really feeling themselves in terms of confidence here. Because this is also, the panel was talking about this pre-game, what precedent is this going to set for the tournament if Gaimin win with this first pick Brood? What precedent is it going to set if they get owned?
True.
You know, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to start second-guessing the Brood? Was that really the problem? Are other teams going to be inspired now to let them have it? Or are Nouns just the best team in the world? You know, there are many questions that will be answered within the next week.
Yeah.
And that could be one of them. All right, Flybot Vlad's,
all right,
much to his own dismay, but he did it because he's a good teammate and he wants to keep morale high.
Let's see if he regrets it.
Yeah, I think he actually really wanted to buy Basher, but we don't have an audio clip of that, unfortunately, for you guys to listen in on.
Basher would be quite good,
but
that's true.
He's Giga Chad enough to buy a Basher on stream, I think. You know.
Aegis on Copy now, and of course the banner on 1.
17,000 gold lead.
We have not seen leads this large, this early, very often at this.
That's true. It's a lot of the games have been, even with, I mean, this is a pretty lopsided kill score. Many of the games we've had have been.
Even in the games that have lopsided kill scores, it's not been this much.
That's fair. It's probably been like half of this. There is a bit of a doom going on, you know, but still, it's quite overwhelmingly one-sided here. Want to commend Tofu on his farm. We haven't had so much positive to say about Gaimin Gladiators, but Tofu on the Snapfire has actually managed to keep a really high net worth in an extremely dire situation. And obviously this comes at the expense somewhat of teammates, but he's the richest support in the game on a totally losing team and might have to come up big as this defense needs to be mounted. My god, this push is so quick. They do so much damage.
Duracio does take the enemy wisdom room.
Right, Copy's in there.
Have to go in. Copy. Electric Vortex with the ult from the snap. It's just dead. Gunner uses the Doom. He does have the buyback on the Quinn, though. Duracio pops the BKB, trying to get back to his fountain. The damage from Yuma is absurd. Triple kill. Will he just fountain farm at this point? Why not? Ultra kill.
Another?
Quinn.
He's disarmed.
Will you give him the rampage? No. They've stayed a little bit too long, but still 3 dead for Gaimin Gladiators, and they call GG. Nouns absolutely dismantle Gaimin Gladiators in this game number 1.
Holy damn. Talk about momentum. They start the group stage 2 and 4. Everybody's writing them off like, yeah, I mean, and keep in mind, this team, I believe their first game of the tournament, they got beat down as hard as anyone